We'll have Donnie lead us in the pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The regular meeting of the Franklin Town Board was called to order by Supervisor Jeff Taggart at 7:35 p.m. Present were Garrett Sitz, David Grant, Donnie Smith, Dwight Bruno, Highway Superintendent Mark Lang, and Paul Warner. The minutes were read from the May 3rd meeting. Garrett Sitz made a motion to accept the minutes as read. David Grant seconded, and all agreed. Ken Walter gave the report for the Kellogg Trust. Ken also stated that he has resigned from the Delhi Educational Fund Board. Garrett Sitz made a motion to approve Cecil Davis Jr. to the Delhi Central School Kellogg Board. Dwight Bruno seconded, and all agreed. Jim Basil presented us information on solar farms versus home solar setups. Jim explained how the taxation on the different systems work. Jeff asked if there needs to be an opt-out of the pilot program in place before there is any construction done. Jim said that there has to be a law in place to opt out of the program. Mark Lang has corrected a bid from Henderson. The price will be $39,326 for the Muni box. Garrett Sitz made a motion to approve the adjusted price. David Grant seconded the motion, and all agreed. Frontier is putting up poles and boxes for high-speed internet. They sent the excavator back and would like to rent it again around mid-July. Garrett Sitz made a motion to rent the excavator for one more month. Donnie Smith seconded, and all agreed. Jackson Hill Road residents are concerned about potholes, etc. on Jackson Hill Road. The town crew has been working to get all of the town roads in good shape. So far the weather has been very cooperative. Another Franklin resident says that Franklin's roads are some of the best around. The planning board met on June 2nd, 2016. Rockaway Revival Retreat has applied for a special use permit to have a boys camp off Grange Hall Road. There will be a public hearing next month for Shaw's Cycles on County Route 14. Mike Wallace asked about Verizon putting up a cell tower to get access for Treadwell residents. He's also wondering about getting the senior citizen housing going. Jeff will check with Will Stone about the possibility of another cell tower. There was discussion about the pros and cons of solar power. Don Hubbard feels the town should not opt out of any pilot programs for solar energy. Jeff will talk to Cheryl Sacco before the next meeting. With no other business to come before the board, Garrett Sitz made a motion to adjourn the meeting. David Grant seconded the motion, and all agreed.
I think the one correction would be Tom Briggs resigning from the education board,
What's Tom?
not Ken,
Oh,
right? Yeah. Tom's gonna retire at the end of October, or whatever, off the.
End of October is when I retire, yes.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that was Tom Briggs who resigned.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other additions or corrections? Motion to accept the minutes as read with the correction.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This time I will vote, because we don't have a majority. Okay.
I fixed your boo-boo.
We have an old business. Well, no, Ken, you're always first. So go ahead, Ken, put on your show, and we'll go from here.
And I got some news for you, Jeff, that I think you'll like. So, financials. NBD checking at the end of June was $30,215. The Morgan Stanley portfolio value, end of June, $932,864. And interest and dividends earned in June was $2,551. The tennis and basketball court repairs were completed, and they were completed at the estimated price, so that is done. In the past month, the commons area gazebo has been primed and painted, the bridge was sealed, and all of the shackles on the playground swings have been repaired or worn. Here's the part I think you'll like, Jeff. I've given Dawn tonight a check for $1,443. That represents what we believe is the correct numbers, and you can correct me if
Okay.
I'm wrong, for the insurance that the town board pays on for our liability. The
Okay.
athletic fields in the common area is $1,238. The community education center is $105, and the community education center contents coverage is $100. So that comes to $1,443. Like I say, Dawn has
Mhm.
that check.
We thank you very much. And we'll give it to Paul. Pardon?
He said send it down.
Set it down, yep.
Do you want the clarification of how it's divided out, Paul? You want the paperwork with it too? Just
That'd be
so you-
nice if we had it.
Yeah, yeah. That'll just clarify what we're paying on. Well, thank you, Ken, thank you very much.
At our last board meeting, something that we brought up was that past experience tells us that volunteers are not really very readily available. And so we have changed our policy manual to reflect some addition.
Mhm.
Currently, to be a member of our board, you have to be a resident and a registered voter in the town of Franklin. We've added to that any former A.L. Kellogg School attendee or alumni currently residing in the town of Delhi, or a former Treadwell School District number 16 resident who's currently in the town of Delhi, or a current resident of the Delaware Academy Central School District in Delhi. And we've done that in the hopes that when we get to October, we will be able to have at least one, if not more, people who will be running for my board seat.
No, just a concern I would have, just, you're specifying any alumni that would be in the Delhi area.
No, it's alumni of the old A.L. Kellogg School.
Right, but, I mean, you're taking in, what I'm understanding is people out of the Delhi districts.
In the Delhi School District,
Now,
yes.
what about people, alumni that might be in Oneana or Walton? You know, with, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, to, not just to, you know, pick out alumni and such that live in the Delhi School District or town of Delhi, but to open it up to any and all adjoining townships. You
Well,
know, that would have people, you know, alumni or, you know, of the A.L. Kellogg thing. That's just a question. I mean, I don't know.
We discussed that and basically felt two things. First off, we hesitate having someone that may be a long distance away. But more importantly, the board felt we'd like to try and keep this as much as we can with people who are living in this area.
Yeah, yeah.
And-
And that, my point was, anybody who lives in adjoining towns,
We
you know,
were-
you know, attached to Franklin, and that's where, you know, like Oneonta, there's probably some in Oneonta, and there's some in Walton. I mean, there may, you know, not, you know, I mean, Sydney, that may be a little bit
Yeah.
stretching it, but not to just pinpoint one as to open it up. And hey, and if it gets interest, and if people wanna serve, it could be a wonderful thing, and maybe something, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, you know,
Well, I'd say let's see what happens relative to the number of people who are willing to take out a petition and run.
right,
And if that's not the case, then probably we'll have to open it up even
right, but
more.
I mean, I really, and it's nothing against Delhi,
Oh.
you know, but, to specify just Delhi area, I think is,
Well, see, the reason
know.
that the reason we did this at Delhi School District is because that's where the original Kellogg funds came from.
right,
And
right,
there are still
right,
3 Kellogg accounts in the Delhi School
Right.
District.
right,
So we felt, going back to our original intent was to really keep this as at a minimum by confining it to residents that were living in the town of Franklin.
right,
But when we realized, well, here we're gonna be in a situation where we don't have a candidate,
right,
we
Right.
said, and we have a couple of specific people in mind that we felt would be very good candidates.
right.
And this would allow them to run. That's kind of where
Right.
we're at.
But I mean, I guess as stipulated, I wouldn't be really in favor of it worded that way without, you know, opening it up to, you know, I mean, when you specify just Delhi, I mean, they've, and I shouldn't say this, but they probably took more away from Treadwell than they ever gave.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, I think, you know, and Oneonta would, I mean, and Oneonta's getting some of it too, Hartwick is, you know, in there too. But I mean, I think there's, you know, distance is a good thing, I mean, a concern, I agree with that. But if you get people who wanna serve, they're gonna drive the half hour, 45 minutes to get there. And, you know, I would love to see it maybe adjoining towns, not something that isn't, you know, adjoining Franklin. Just to specify one, I have an issue with that. And not that it shouldn't be changed, opened up, and I understand the reason for it, but I'd like to see it not pinpointed to one village or one community.
All right, we'll bring it up at our next board meeting.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, I do not have.
But I'm still happy with you.
Okay. In the meanwhile, I do not have any internet, which means I have no email. So I would have emailed Dawn a copy of the revised policy manual. I will do that, hopefully, when Frontier tells me that they're going to restore it on Thursday. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't have a lot of confidence, but I'm hoping for something.
Well, we hope they hold true.
I haven't had it since Saturday morning. Anyway, not to keep you guys. Next board meeting is scheduled for July 27th, 6 PM in the Treadwell Firehouse. And other than Jeff, what you've brought up, which I'll bring up at the next meeting, I'll entertain any other questions or concerns from the board or anyone here.
Thank you. Any other questions for Ken? Concerns? I like the figures, you know, this
Yeah,
month,
considering
last
what-
month was better than average. On the
Considering
game.
what the market has been in the last month, we're delighted.
Watch out next month.
No, don't.
But-
Thank you very much.
Well, thank
All
you,
right.
thank you, Ken.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, Mark, you have anything for us?
Yeah, just, grader's going back, and then, excavator will come back on that, hopefully.
We'll swap them out.
Yeah, and then, the chips, I know, probably you guys seen that in the paper about the whole thing.
Yep.
I've been telling you that they were giving us the extra
Right.
57,000 and everything. They sent us all the superintendents told us we were getting it, and then they call us and tell us, don't spend it. And we're like, really?
Right,
A
right.
lot of them had.
Oh,
Well,
really?
Yeah, well, what happened was it got into a little match in the Senate and the House
Mhm.
about how they were gonna appropriate it. So now it's worked out, getting the 57,000, which would be the
Is
fourth
back-
mouse.
Back in.
Yeah, it'd be fourth. Just 3 other townships get more than we do in Delaware County, so that's about it. I have a lot.
The body's been ordered.
Yes, body's
Okay.
been ordered,
Yep.
and roads are all done except for a couple seasonal use roads that aren't in that bad a shape. All calciumed up and good shape.
Thank you. I think you're doing a good job. Good weather too, I guess we gotta count on
Nice
that too.
little.
Can't take all the credit for all the work you did, but Mother Nature helped you in this case.
Yeah, just, the dust thing was a little more this
Well,
year.
that was, you know, when it's so darn dry, it's gonna be dusty. And that's unfortunate, but it worked out.
Yes.
And I did get a call and complain about having dust, but then he called and said, thank you very, very much for getting it settled down. And you probably know who it is, so we'll just go from there.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, dust can be, I know, well, after you work it, holy cow. It's amazing, okay. Are there anything from the rec committee?
Nobody's.
Nobody's
Got ahold of me.
got hold of you, okay. What?
Just
Yes,
a question, Garrett, do you actually go to the rec committee meetings?
I haven't. I've talked to the director about that.
and said when there's issues to come up, you know, call him and he would go, I believe is what you told me.
If they need anything from me, they have my contact information. Same thing when Joanna was the director.
Okay. I should ask Ken, I was gonna ask Ken too about the, I don't know if the tennis courts at the school, are they usable?
I believe so.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if they were or not, because of the rec, you know, program, because I know they refurbished the ones in Treadwell. So if the rec program wanted to, you know, if the courts in Franklin weren't, you know, usable, you know, ask the Treadwell organization, because their courts have been resurfaced, so they would be. I didn't know how that had worked out. Okay, and going back to old news or old business, I called Cheryl Sacco, and I had her talk with Jim Basil, the assessor. I said, I better have 2 horses talk to each other than to get a mule in between. And so they talked, and Cheryl, at first, when I initially talked to her, she thought opting out was not a good idea. But said she saw the resolution the county passed for, you know, the county to put, the resolution the county passed to actually stay in, not opt out. She said that is just a lawsuit waiting to jump. And she said the town might better, her and Jim agreed. She agreed with Jim that it's better to, you know, opting out and dealing with it that way than to jump in with the county in their situation. So next month, we'll need a resolution to the fact that we'll have a public hearing on the local law. We have copies of it. Dawn made extra copies if anybody wants a copy of it, the proposed law, to opt out of the solar program that the state has given us.
Are we gonna have a public hearing, start
We're gonna
at
have
7?
I think probably 7 it should be, because there's a lot of interest in it.
Okay.
And if not, we'll just go on with the town board meeting earlier, that's all. So 7 o'clock on August, no, August 2nd, we'll have a public hearing at 7 o'clock. It'll be advertised. But if you want a copy of it, it's,
No. You just missed July.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a second,
yeah,
okay.
second, yeah.
and November has to be
So-
different.
Is there any other questions on that? You know, that's what the public hearing's gonna be for. I'm sure there's concern about it, but it's something we'll open it up and go. Okay,
So we need a motion.
so do we need a motion for the public hearing on August 2nd at 7 o'clock?
I make a motion.
Donnie made the motion, second?
Second.
Garrett seconded. All in favor? Aye. With the two other ayes? Maybe I spoke too loud, I didn't hear it, so. Okay, and we've got a letter from,
Joe Terwilliger, I think.
okay, Joe Twilliger and family,
Yeah.
to the Methodist Society Cemetery up on 28, State Route 28. Can no longer care for this cemetery, they are wondering if the town would take over caring for it. And, I guess there's no question we have to. I don't know if we can, how we handle this, Mark, in the past, we've got a couple we do. Mow like 3 times a year.
Is that what they're talking about, is mowing, or are they talking about
That's
the
all she
fence
was,
or the
no,
mowing?
she was just talking about the mowing.
Jack Knapp used to do it all the time.
Okay, yeah, she said somebody got to do it, so.
What would it be? We have,
Personally, I'd like to see it contracted out to somebody, you know, somebody that's up there in that area doing it, you know,
you
doing
know,
lawns.
anybody up there doing lawns?
Even if it's somebody, a homeowner that lives up there, if they want to drive over and do it too, I mean, Dick Blackman does the one in
Right,
Arabia.
yeah,
I mean,
right. So we should get back to them and see if they can locate somebody that might be interested
Yeah,
in
do
maintaining
that,
it.
and you can look around, see if there's somebody.
You know,
up that
we've
way.
got the individual for the town, town clerk's office. I don't know if he's got a license or not.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think so.
He doesn't yet? Oh, okay.
Is it Josh?
Yeah,
No, I don't think so.
oh, okay.
Okay.
I can check with him or Josh Jones.
I think he was the only one that, well,
I wonder, I was gonna, maybe I
in
could
that
try
group,
Matt
I think he was
Ross.
the only one.
Matt Ross, maybe?
Maybe.
He's up
Brian Gladden.
Even, maybe
Right,
even,
yeah, yeah, that's, probably those would be the first ones, as I said, somebody up in the area, so it's not.
I
Okay.
think he used to come down and mow for Chris, right, wasn't that Sweetie?
Used to, he hasn't been,
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that'd be a couple of good choices.
used to sleep, but he's using his daughters now.
College and free. Okay, I can try
Okay.
getting hold of
But
somebody.
Josh, we could still get a hold of, because I could see Freddie or someone wanted to take him up there.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
If he was interested.
It's
there's,
only
there's
like-
lots of kids
Like,
in town,
you
I
know,
think, would be willing to do it.
two more times this year, probably, you know, as soon as possible, if it
Yeah.
hasn't been done. And
Okay,
then before Labor Day, you know, do it again, just to get, it, you know,
okay.
keep it trimmed up somewhat. Okay. Okay. We have Bert Barnes from Treadwell is resigning from the Assessment Review Board. And so we're gonna have to look for a replacement for Bert. Right now it's Tom Collier and Bill Young are the other 2 members of the board. And so it's, that's something we've gotta think about. We don't have to, we should have it done in the next couple of months, just so somebody, if there's some training and stuff that's gotta be done.
2 guys in the back, any interest?
What's that, assistant review board? I don't know.
I think this year they only had, I think, 3,
It wasn't during that.
it wasn't that, it was 3 of them. that Grieved, no, assessment, grievance board, the grievance board, right.
Board of Assessment Review is the
Oh,
technical
that's-
name.
oh, it is,
They have
okay.
grievance day.
But they have, okay, but that's, you know, it's, so that's, we've got the letter of resignation from Bert. Okay.
Get back to
It's
it.
a couple day, half day job, you know, it's not,
Pete said he might be interested.
Oh,
I don't know if
okay.
you heard him.
well, I mean, it's available and, you know, if you're around, it'd probably be probably somebody who would give you the most information on it would be our assessor. You know, if he's been here a lot, I don't know whether it's just because his computer works here or whatever.
Or you can talk to,
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah, Bill Young or, you know, Tom Collier, too, they're right here, whoever, you know, just to get a clue on what it does entail.
Yeah.
Maybe Bert wouldn't be the one to talk to, but, yeah. So, okay.
That was out, Nick.
Oh, the Bethel Road.
That's the, this one is anyway.
This one about Nichols Highway.
Okay, yeah, that's what this is too.
That's what that is too.
Yeah,
That's from the Senate, this is from the Assembly. Okay.
and they